celebrating the power of possibility.
My name is Oscar Smith, and I believe anything is possible.
Welcome to Anything is Possible. I'm Halloran Hilton Hill, and my guest today is my friend, Oscar Smith. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Hal.
So you've done something consistently for years in my life that I want to publicly thank you for. Consistently. Like, I'm trying to think how long I've known you. I'm thinking I've known you at least 25 years. At least 25.
It's been a long time.
Long time. It seems like every month, every other month, I'll just be driving in my car. I'll see your name come up on my phone. I'll answer the phone, and you start the same way. H. H. Yes, sir. Just want to tell you one thing. What's that? I love you. I just want you to know right here at the top of the day, I love you. I don't want nothing. You sell cars, legendary in the business. You've never tried to sell me anything. You've always called me just to say, I love you. Thank you for that. You don't know how many times in my life, I've told you a couple of things, but you don't know how many times in my life I'm having a low moment. I'm having a low possibility moment, and I'll see your name come up. H, I love you, so thank you for that. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Hal.
Why'd you start doing that? Why do you do, and I'm not the only person you do that with.
Well, H, it's a thing that I developed over years, and it gives me so much joy because I never know what people are going through when I make that phone call. And what I do is I do it randomly. In the morning, as I'm going to work or as I'm going home, I just think about people, and so I shouldn't while I'm driving, but I just scroll through my phone and I pick out a name. And I just call them and just say, hello, how you doing? Because I don't think we get enough of it.
Man, that is amazing. Let's go back to the beginning of your story. You probably put one of the biggest smiles on my face. I bought my first convertible.
I remember.
From you. You had it in the middle of the showroom floor with my name on it.
Yeah.
And thank you for giving me that moment. But let's go back to the beginning of your story. For people who don't know you and don't know what you do, what do you do?
I'm a general sales manager at Mazda of Knoxville. I work for the Twin City Group, and I've been there for 5 years. And
how long have you been in the automotive industry?
For 38 years.
Yeah.
38 years here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I started off selling Acuras for Apple Tree Acura at the time, back in 1987. And the car business chose me. I didn't choose it. I met a guy while I was in treatment, and he had been in the restaurant business, as I was in the restaurant business. And we talked about our personalities. And he said, man, I think you'd do well in the car business. So when I got out of treatment center, I went to Apple Tree Acura, interviewed, they hired me.
That's amazing.
Never sold cars before.
Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Chicago, south side of Chicago.
South side?
Chirac, they call it today.
What was it like growing up in Chicago?
Well, growing up, I was born in Chicago in 1959. My mom, Mary Pearl Little, just growing up, it was hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. My mother was divorced when I was 1 year old. And so she was a single mom, and she raised me and my brother, and it was tough. It was tough.
How tough was it?
Well, back then, those were the days of riots, political turmoil, and being raised by a single mom. It was tough. Today, I can't even realize how tough it was, but I made it through.
How long were you in Chicago?
I left Chicago in 1980, okay, and when I was 20 years old.
Where'd you move?
I moved to Knoxville.
Why
Had
Knoxville?
no idea.
Why Knoxville?
Well, my dad had moved here before the World's Fair and started business, and he had a courier business, a cab company, and my dad was a jack of all trades, but Chicago began so tough, my mom said, I think you need to leave and maybe go live with your father. And so I just said, okay, what do I have to lose? So my friend and I, we got in his old Pinto. I don't know if you remember Pinto.
I do remember. Blow up when you run into him.
Yeah, we packed everything that we owned into that car, him and I. And we said, let's go to Knoxville, Tennessee. And we didn't know how long we were gonna be there. We just need to get out of the city. And
So you landed in Knoxville, what'd you do?
Well, when I got to Knoxville, my dad had a couple of companies.
Right.
And it was a courier business, office equipment. So my first job was selling office equipment, typewriter repairs, dictating equipment. And not having any experience in selling, the first place I went to was UAB Bank Building, which was owned by the Butchers at the time.
Yeah, the Butcher Brothers.
The first person that I met selling office equipment was C.H. Sr.
Wow.
I walk into his office and the lady at the front desk says, we're not buying anything, but would you like to talk to our owner? And this good-looking, white-headed gentleman comes out with a cigar in his hand, and it was C.H. Sr. He said, welcome, and we're not buying anything, but why don't you have lunch on me? So me and my partner, he sends us up to Club LeConte.
This is
my first introduction of Knoxville.
Right.
And so he said, why don't you go have lunch on me? It was a 3-hour lunch, by the way. And it was incredible. And it started from there. And I had a gift of just talking to people.
Where'd that come from?
Well, my mom, my dad was, did military. My mom was a secretary. And I just had a gift. I came from a big family, not siblings, but cousins, aunties and uncles. I had a lot of people around me. And I was just one of the golden children, I was a golden child,
Had the gift of gab.
Had the gift of gab.
But you like people.
I love people.
Right.
I love people, H.
So you're selling office equipment. What happens next?
So after selling office equipment, I started, my dad had a cab company, and I drove cab and courier business for a while. And at that time, I was still participating in my addiction.
Which was?
I was doing cocaine, I was smoking pot, I was drinking.
When did you start?
When I was 11 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when you started drinking?
That's when I started smoking pot.
Really?
At 11 years old. It was my environment. Today I realize that. It was my environment. My mom thought it was safer for me to smoke and be at home versus out in the street. And at 11 years old, it was dysfunctional. But, that was the city. That was the life that I was used to. It was just, no kid should go through that. No kid should go through that.
So you're in Knoxville, and so if you start at 11, by the time, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master of something.
I was full blown.
You're full blown.
I was a professional.
Wow. What was it costing you?
I look back today, and the money that I spent is immeasurable. I have no idea how much money I spent over the years. I know it was a lot.
Possibility powered by Covenant Health, Home Federal, and the Knoxville News Sentinel.
Now you can listen while you're on the go with Anything is Possible, the podcast. Let me ask you this as we kind of work through your story. Why are you so open about it?
Well, what I've learned today, going through recovery, is if I don't share it, it burdens me. So I'd rather put it out there. I'd rather talk about it.
My best buddy, John Wright, always says this to me, and I guess maybe it's in the Bible too, the truth will set you free.
Today is one of the reasons I'm here, Hal. I wanted to get this burden off of me. God's forgiven me. I've forgiven myself. My family's forgiven me. I just want the world to forgive me.
Yeah, we do. So you're 20-something. You're in Knoxville.
Yeah.
You're a full-blown addict.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, I went to several treatment centers. Okay, I consider myself treatment-wise. I was in and out of treatment centers. Fortunately, I never was incarcerated. You know, petty crimes. You know, been to court a few times. Not proud of it. I had an experience back when I was selling drugs to support my habit. I wasn't a drug dealer. I was just supporting my habit. That's what I felt. The system felt differently. So I had a couple of incidents of selling drugs and possession charges, possession to resale, and went to court a couple of times. And out of that experience, I met a judge, Mary Beth Leibowitz.
Mary Beth Leibowitz.
Mary Beth Leibowitz, I think she's a person that gave me one of my biggest opportunities.
What happened?
Well, she told me, my second time coming before her, if I see you again, I'm gonna put you under my jail. And it stuck. It stuck. She became a friend. She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And we still talk today. We still talk today. And those days behind me.
So when did you get to the point where you were able to break the cycle of addiction? Because as all of this is going on, you got a family, you're blowing and going in business. You are legendary in the car business in Knoxville.
Thank you.
Everybody knows you. Most of the people that I know that know you, they not only know you, they love you. I mean, your customers love you. You have a portfolio of customers. Wherever you go, whatever you do, where's Oscar? And they buy everything through you. So you've been very successful in the business,
Yeah.
but broken on the inside. What was the point at which you were able to break the addiction?
Well, Howard, I don't think you ever break it. It's always a part of you. It's just like cancer. I think some people are in remission, like the doctor said. Some people are in remission, and today I'm in remission. It's something I have to practice. And in my sobriety, I have to live it every day. And what happened is I had a spiritual awakening.
Take me through it.
So I'm in my garage.
Right.
I'm sitting there. I'm getting high. I'm drinking. I'm doing everything that I do. And I asked God. I started talking to God. I didn't know if it was the drugs talking, or was He talking to me?
So you're high talking to God.
I was high talking to God. And I asked Him to forgive me. And in that process...
How did you ask Him? Do you remember?
Well, yeah, I do. I remember always going through addiction. I always had one hand to God and one hand holding on to my addiction. And I remember that moment that evening that I let go of that addiction and I raised both my hands.
Ooh, wow.
To God.
Wow.
I just said, please take this away from me. And in doing that, I had to do some soul searching. At that moment, I told my mom, I forgive you. I told my dad, I forgive you. And then I asked for their forgiveness for what I had become. And that spiritual awakening, I tell you what, that moment, I got rid of all my paraphernalia, all my drugs. I was smoking a pack and a half of cigarettes a day. The next morning, Hal, I woke up. It was gone.
And you've been through treatment centers and programs. You've been through
all of
that stuff. But it was a moment. It was a spiritual awakening.
It was a spiritual awakening, H. And I know it was God. It was nobody but God. Because like you said, I've been to treatment centers. And that morning, I woke up, the cigarettes were gone. You know, when people say nicotine's addicting, this is addicting, you know, the power of God is more addicting than anything. I know this today. And that morning, I went into my boss's office, Tom Harper.
Great man.
Great man.
Great man.
He was a mentor.
He loved you, man.
I miss him dearly.
He loved you.
I went into his office and I says, Tom, I think you know what I've been doing. And I just want you to know that I'm ready to stop. And he says, then you know what to do. And that day I went to a meeting of alcoholics and, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I just started the program of recovery. I was ready to invest in my sobriety for the first time, truly invest in it. And today I'm clean and sober.
How long have you been sober?
I've been clean and sober going on 12 years. June the 17th will be 12 years. Now, when I say clean and sober, I mean, I had been dry before. I've been abstinent before. But being totally clean and sober, drug and alcohol free, it's a new lease on life.
Now, take us with you with Anything is Possible, the podcast. Stream new episodes weekly wherever you get your podcasts.
See, I remember the shift.
Yeah.
I remember the shift because whenever I was driving west, I would always just pop in and talk to you.
Yeah.
I would just pop in. We'd just sit there and talk. I did it all the time.
Yeah.
I'd come by and see you. You throw me some keys.
Yeah.
You need to drive this. And we would just have these wonderful conversations. And I remember I was sitting in your office and you said, close that door. And you had seen like a rainbow or a cross you had seen something in nature.
Yeah.
If I remember, you saw a rainbow or what was it?
So, I was flying.
I
was flying, and at that time, I had my phone just taking pictures out of the window, not looking at what I was just taking pictures of clouds. And I still have that picture today. It was a cross in the sky. And just knowing that God's with me.
Yeah, you told me, because we shed some tears that day.
Yeah.
We were sitting there, both of us just weeping about God's goodness. Talk about your career in the automotive world. Man, you've done a lot.
Well, again, 1987, started selling cars. The first year I sold cars, I was with some giants in the business. Sam Faust, Jay Hill. These guys were good at their job. And I just listened and learned. So my first experience in selling cars is my owner brings me a phone book. Says, Smitty, do you have any customers? I said, no, sir. And he drops the phone book on my desk. Okay? And I just started calling people. I started at A. Okay? No one told me. And the first customer that I spoke with was Lou Arpino. Lou Arpino was the vice president of Magnavox at the time. Lou was one of my customers at the restaurant business that I did before car business. And I said, Lou, hey, I'm at Apple Tree Acura. Why don't you come down and look at a car? Lou came down. He said, I'll tell you what, Oscar, I'll buy this car if you make me some of that fettuccine Alfredo that you used to make at the restaurant. And I said, man, this works. So I just kept calling people. I went right through the phone book. Then I started going to different offices and just talking to people and introducing myself. And that first year in the car business, I became salesman of the year. Never sold a car before.
And look at you now, you've done a whole lot. Talk to me about your family. I know you're proud of your family, and you're a granddad now.
I'm a granddad. That's one of the most beautiful things. My wife, Renita Smith, God love her.
Yeah.
She stuck with me through everything. We were married, I moved here in 1980, and she followed me. We dated. We met at a disco.
Nice.
In Chicago, Illinois, called the Phoenix, and we dated, and I moved to Knoxville, and she came with me, and then we got married 2 years later in 1982. July the 4th.
Wow.
So that day I would never forget, independence of marriage. And we've been together ever since.
Your son is a rock star.
My son has exceeded all my expectations. I live vicariously through him. He currently, right now, Sean's 37 years old. I've got 2 grandkids. He works for Unilever. He's over global strategic planning and insights.
Wow.
For Unilever, and he lives in The Hague, over in the Netherlands. And my grandkids, Noelle, she's gonna be 3 in June, and my grandson, Preston Oscar, he will be 1 in July. So the name lives on. And that's one of the biggest joys, grandkids. It's amazing.
You made it.
Yeah.
You made it to the other side.
Yeah.
What have you learned about possibility? For somebody that might be watching, that's struggling in and with addiction, that believes that their life is over, they can't see the possibility of a bright or better future, what do you say to them?
Don't give up. Don't give up. There's always people out there. When you can't do something yourself, there's people out there, including me, that will help you. And that's what I tell people. There's always hope if you have faith.
We started the interview with how you have reached out to me, so I want to close the interview the same way. This is me calling you right now. Oh, I love you, man.
I love you, H.
I just want you to know I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the courage to not only tell your story, but to show that there's a possibility. This show is called Anything is Possible, and it's possible to put your life back together, to smile, to help others smile and see the light. And I'm glad to call you one of my great friends.
As me.
Thank you for being on Anything is Possible.
Thank you, H. It's a pleasure.